Here's some of my general tips, quick tips, as well as things I wish I knew before going into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Let's go.
So starting out, you'll get a new difficulty option, Dynamic. It might sound like this makes the game easier, but dynamic difficulty can also make the game harder. If you out-level monsters, they'll dynamically scale up to your level, keeping them challenging, and that does also mean they'll give more experience points.
News to me.
I personally prefer normal difficulty because I like the feel of becoming stronger and seeing my progress with stomping enemies that used to be challenging. But don't forget you can freely change difficulty between easy, normal and dynamic, and it won't affect any achievements. Always have one party member equipped with Assess. Get into the habit of using Assess on every new enemy you come across.
I got some notes.
It's useful to know an enemy's weaknesses, and Assess will also unlock new combat challenges that give fancy materia rewards. Also, you can see how to pressure an enemy on the Assess screen, which will give you an edge, and certain side events will require you to pressure an enemy. You can change your party formations from the menu. It's kind of hidden in the combat settings. I admit it took me longer than it should have to find this. I'd always instinctively look in the party section, but it's in fact in the combat settings. There's also a formation for the backline. The backline will appear in the open world in the distance in combat, and these characters will provide light assists. Don't go into Rebirth combat expecting full-on Dark Souls or even Final Fantasy XVI gameplay.
We're not here for that.
This is a hybrid action RPG with turn-based elements. Manage your party members, consider your materia and builds. If a boss is weak to certain elements or effects, then rebuild your party to exploit those weaknesses. There is a hard mode. There is an achievement for clearing hard mode, but you don't even unlock access to that hard mode till you finish the game. Hard mode is in New Game Plus with a chapter and difficulty select, so don't worry too much about missing stuff or getting high scores in minigames straight away. You can replay chapters and carry progress over.
Tomorrow is another day.
In the previous game, aerial encounters could be a nightmare. They're much better in Rebirth. While playing Cloud, if you roll, then attack, you can do a ranged blade beam. If you instead roll then hold square, you can jump and enter aerial combat. And finally, you can enter Punisher mode, which is triangle, to return to the ground. One of the most important new features is the synergy system. It's a little bit confusing because it comes in two forms. You've got basic synergy skills. These will pop up while blocking and can be freely used.
Have fun out there.
Then you've got the real meat of it, synergy abilities. Basically, when you use any abilities, you build up these little synergy bars. Party members can then spend these bars to do powerful synergy abilities. These are really useful and provide bonuses like increasing stagger, powering up limit breaks, or unlimited MP for a while.
Let me at him. Oh, you're gonna feel this.
I recommend using synergy support materia on your party members when you get it to get even more synergy bars. If there's one new thing you want to master as soon as possible in Rebirth, it's the synergy system. If you're finding this useful, consider subbing to Peter Bytes or liking the video for more content like this. Cover lots of RPGs, and that includes my Final Fantasy series, where I'm replaying them all and ranking them against each other as I go. Thank you.
Long story short, I want you to join me.
Enemies generally like to focus on the player you're controlling. Make use of this by counter-attacking with Cloud's Punisher stance and swapping between party members regularly. I like to use the Provoke materia, which will allow party members to draw an enemy's attention when teammates are injured. You can get Provoke from the first open world region's battle intel. Barret is a pretty great tank. He's got loads of defensive abilities, and it even takes time for enemies to travel to Barret if he's using ranged attacks.
Yeah, good point.
I like to give him Provoke and HP plus materia. Even if Barret cannot hold an enemy's threat for long, he can still give you a bit of reprieve. Nearly every new weapon you find has new abilities. Even if that weapon is weaker than your current one, take the time to equip it and use its abilities until you master it. You can then swap back to your best weapon. Some of the abilities are really useful to have, and there's an achievement for learning all weapon abilities. So to complete open world regions as efficiently as possible, prioritize unlocking the chocobos in that region and activating towers. Activating a tower will reveal a large chunk of the map and its activities. But here's the thing, if like me you're someone who enjoys exploring open worlds for yourself, you could leave those towers till last and explore the world on your own terms.
Clever you.
Be aware that you can't complete all the activities in the third open world region till far later in the game. I was stupid, got completely lost in the fourth region and wasted about an hour. Don't make the same mistake. Once more of this region opens up, you access it through a back door from the town. Rebirth has tons of minigames, even more than the entire original Final Fantasy VII. Some minigames are very challenging, and for 100% and all achievements, you'll need to complete and pretty much get high scores in nearly all the minigames.
Is this not a bit much, sir?
There's a mixed reception on minigames, and if you're really not enjoying them, I wouldn't recommend going for 100% or that platinum trophy. And speaking of minigames, I found turning game music off was a huge help and allowed me to really focus on squats. And in the 3D battler, you can pause the game to freeze and read enemy movements. And most importantly, have fun with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Have a good one.